The Crumbs of Hope. The first season finale of Paramount Plus's drama series Landman centers on the fallout from recent unsavory events surrounding Monty Miller's treatment because of his health problems. Tommy Norris, with the help of his boss's wife, Cami Miller, takes over running MTX Oil by deciding to proceed with a farm-out. He makes a major decision that affects the future of the oil company and the Miller family. In the midst of the Landman's new duties, he faces the danger posed by Hims, a drug dealer who is not prepared for a kind conversation. Warning: there will be spoilers ahead. Episode 10 Recap. In The Crumbs of Hope, Tommy Norris finds out that, in the event Monty Miller becomes incapacitated or dies, he has been appointed president of MTX Oil for the benefit of Cami and their 2 daughters. The Landman is requested to run the Yenti prize until it is sold in order to assist the businessman's widow with financial affairs following Monty's death. Tommy is also designated as the executive of the trust. As our hero adjusts to his new position, Cami receives the devastating news that her spouse needs a heart transplant due to a ruptured aortic aneurysm. The medical staff will keep a close eye on Monty and attach life-sustaining devices to him until he gets a new heart. As the new CEO of the oil company, Tommy's first priority is to finalize the farm-out that his boss has approved, which is worth over $160 million. The Millers could go bankrupt because of how hazardous the enterprise is. In the best-case scenario, which involves going ahead with the project and making over $1 billion, the Landman lays out the worst-case situation for Cami. She gives the go-ahead for the farm-out after considerable thought and plays one more hand of poker. Tommy contacts Rebecca Falcone in an effort to renegotiate the farm-out contract. Once she has made her decision, Tommy is reluctant to remove Rebecca since she has gained the favor of his boss, Monty, despite his strong dislike for her. Even though Nathan is an ethical lawyer, the Landman acknowledges that she is better at negotiating. The protagonist gives his longtime coworker a call to explain his current choice of her. Dale and Nathan follow Tommy's order and educate Rebecca on the concept of a farm-out so that she can negotiate a better deal with less financial risk. The Landman is apprehensive about draining the Miller family savings by investing more than $160 million on 9 oil wells that would provide no returns. Jimenez and his Galeno gang kidnap the Landman as punishment for Tommy's orders to Rebecca. Unbeknownst to the drug dealer, the patch has an alarm system that will keep the authorities at the scene of the crime for quite a while, severely impacting the drug cartel. He plans to demonstrate his dominance over his opponent by blasting many oil wells. He ties Tommy up and brutally assaults him. After coming to terms with his mistake, a mysterious person arrives with a group of men just in time to stop the drug dealer from killing the Landman. The figure slaughters the former and his gang without mercy. This individual turns out to be Galeno, who is both Him's boss and a notorious drug cartel head on a global scale. Realizing that eliminating the Landman would draw unwanted attention to the oil patches, a crucial area for his narcotics operations, he decides to spare Tommy's life. Other oil corporations would have taken a negative cue if Hims had murdered the crisis CEO. They might depend on the government for precautions to avoid a repeat performance, which would be bad for Galeno's drug trade. Some of these businesses even have ex-presidents on their boards, so it would be easy for the DA to set up camp on their patches, something the cartel would greatly dislike. Since Jimenez considers their disagreement to be a private affair, he attempts to assassinate Tommy. However, Galeno treats it like any other business matter. He puts aside his pride and focuses solely on the figures because he is a businessman. The easiest way for him to safeguard his interests is to work with oil firms, not against them. This realization probably didn't take him long to come to. For that reason, Galeno extends a hand of friendship to Tommy. He hopes that by rescuing the Landman, they would both develop an uncommon generosity that will lead to their own improvement. The oil corporations stand to lose little from the well explosions, so Tommy has an incentive to accept the cartel leader's offer of collaboration and peace. Interestingly, the cooperation they discuss might not be the whole of Galeno's involvement in Tommy's life. The Landman's potential interest in becoming an oil tycoon is illuminated when the cartel head suggests they meet to talk about oil wells. By doing so, he can guarantee that the cooperation indicated before would be upheld throughout the Parent Basin, particularly with the backing of a major player in the business like MTX Oil. It is possible that Galeno has come to the realization that being one of the oil tycoons grants him the opportunity to have a voice and propose policies that serve to safeguard his interests as the leader of the Monty cartel. Cami and their 2 children are seen sobbing uncontrollably as the final scene of the Crumbs of Hope unfolds. Viewers may be confused or worried about the businessman's destiny due to the sudden and stressful moment, particularly after she maintains her composure during her husband's surgery. What happens to Monty is further shrouded in mystery by the out-of-focus monitors in this scenario. Nonetheless, we think he's alive and well after the oil billionaire is moved to a room following his surgery. The family may gather, which could lead to an emotionally tense scene. Medical professionals must have hurried to the room to treat Monty if he is truly dead, given that he is a prominent client. The scenario instead depicts members of the medical personnel strolling past the room indifferently, oblivious to the events unfolding within. The event cannot have occurred after the physician's visit because they may have removed the tubes from Monty, so his family could enjoy some last moments with him. Taking all of this into account, the businessman seems to be fighting for his life one more time. Ryder is slowly becoming that Ryder type of person. He has shown his devotion to Ansley by putting her needs before his own ever since they met. As one would expect from a young man, he has put up with Tommy's ridiculous demands and threats without taking any kind of revenge. He may be able to date any lady he wants, but he becomes an exotic dancer for Ansley's happiness, a symbol that he's committed to her. Their connection is now serious and not just platonic. Thanks to this discovery, even though he knows Tommy will probably beat him badly, Ryder still decides to spend the night with her. This shows her that he is willing to put up with anything for her. Leigh and Ryder might not be going anywhere anytime soon. Their bond is robust and unbreakable, which could see them through any storms that come their way. When Cooper and Ariana begin to routinely engage in intimate activities, their relationship blossoms. In order to treasure their unity, they welcome their misgivings and doubts, but their joy is dampened as she begins to box up Elvio's possessions, who passed away not long ago. Everything associated with their marriage takes her back in time. She has a hard time letting go of the roughneck and accepting Cooper as her man because she gets caught up in her recollections of him. This obstacle not only puts their relationship at risk, but also causes her to question her own beliefs. Cooper handles the matter to the best of his abilities. Despite Ariana's reservations, he doesn't want her to forget Elvio, so he mourns with her instead of requesting or expecting her to. Whenever she needs someone to cry on or just wants to think about her late spouse, he is there for her. So long as he doesn't feel the need to hurry things between them, Ariana will have plenty of room to grieve. She realizes she made the correct choice in choosing to be with Cooper after witnessing his development. His ease around her pain and history only serves to deepen her faith in him. Cooper makes no effort to remove Elvio from Ariana's life, despite the fact that he has succeeded her late colleague. She is free to share her memories of her late spouse with him, since he acknowledges his presence. That Ariana doesn't have to go through her loss and isolation is a comfort, as it prevents her from losing touch with Cooper. Their bond is stronger than ever before because they are committed to achieving their shared goal of being together. Ending scene. At the end of the first season of Landman, Tommy finds a coyote in his front yard. In episode 9, the Landman's neighbor murders another animal, and this time, the animal finds its body lying nearby. Tommy becomes worried upon seeing the coyote and goes so far as to advise it to leave the area they share because it is not suitable for its survival. I think he sees a reflection of himself in the coyote because he says this. The Landman has spent many happy hours careening around the state, much like the beast. Still, he's had problems throughout his life due to his independence. When Tommy tries to deal with the situation on his own, Hims almost kills him. He has learned that life is a game with multiple rules from every enemy and bad situation he has faced over the years. The Landman may have come to the realization that in order to stay alive, he must play by the same set of rules as everyone else. His new role as president of MTX Oil has severely limited his freedom of action. He doesn't gain independence, but rather constraints and near-death experiences as a result of his freedom. The coyotes are not exempt from these insights either. We may have the belief that animals have inherent freedom, but in reality, such belief is conditional on their compliance with human regulations. They are brutally murdered the moment they escape to a woman's front yard armed with a rifle. When it comes to Tommy's lack of independence, the coyote and her kindred spirits, the Landman warns the animal to flee because, based on his past experiences, he knows that its death is imminent.